He also did people who had been victims of left-wingers and or their policies. And that was equally moving in its own way. First and foremost, I'll start with Erika Kirk, who was there. She was in the First Lady's skybox. It's not a skybox at the U.S. Capitol, but she was in the First Lady's box. And it was an interesting thing because Trump mentioned Erika and called her wonderful. And she stood up and the Republicans were standing for her, understanding full well that they may or may not know Erika. I think they are getting to know her, but this is about Charlie. And they were clapping for her, for Charlie. And the Democrats did not stand. And then Trump said there should be no political violence. And they did stand. They knew they had to stand for. I mean, there was no way they couldn't stand for that. But Erika Kirk was a bridge too far, apparently, because they've decided to bastardize Charlie's legacy and say he's a racist and so on. So you can't, I guess you can't stand for a grieving widow. I'm not sure exactly what was going on there, but there was that moment. Here, I'll show it. It's SOT 10.
I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal. This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man. So last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erika, is with us tonight. Erika, please stand.
Chanting Charlie, Charlie.
Thank you, Erika.
This is amazing. Erika looks at the woman next to her, who we later find out is the mother of Iryna Zarutska, the Ukrainian refugee who was killed on that train, and says, love you. Erika always does that. She's constantly telling everyone who supports her, I love you. She's told me she loves me. I've told her I love her many, many times. We talk regularly. She's holding it together. But man, this has been a very, very rough 5 months for her. And the fact that the president honored her in this way and honored Charlie it spoke volumes. No matter, what you may hear about Erika Kirk, the president loves her. JD Vance loves her. And I love her. And she's doing very well in keeping it together and forging a very rough battle and keeping a massive organization together, and now being a new single mom and just missing her husband. The first year, you guys all know, we've all probably lost somebody in our lives. The first year is always the roughest. You got to get through the birthdays and Christmas, and we just had Valentine's Day. All those things we all forge on with our lives after we pay our condolences. And people have the tendency to forget the person who's back there grieving still and really hurting. So I was thrilled to see Trump invited her.
It seems like so long ago, but it was only 6 months. I mean, it's only been 6 months. It's really remarkable when you think about it. When Iryna's mom when Trump was talking about her story, and she was standing and she was not holding it together. She was crying, sobbing, and Erika was in frame, put her hand on her shoulder and was saying, God bless you, and was just trying to comfort her. That was really, that also got me. I mean, she's a pretty remarkable woman.
Me too. I mean, just to see the two of them up there. I mean, both the surviving victims of a terrible, terrible crime. And what's interesting too is that Iryna was killed the day before. It was the day before Charlie. Charlie was killed on September 10th, and it was a Wednesday. And I think Iryna was killed. She was killed the Saturday before. But we were talking about, I remember we had a panel of great guests. We had Megan Basham, we had Allie Beth Stuckey. We were talking about Heather McDonald. We were talking about the crime against Iryna on this show that Wednesday that Charlie died. And it was a great episode. It was very in-depth on poor Iryna and the crime problem in North Carolina and the soft on crime judges and DAs and so on. And then we got off the air and Charlie was shot and came back on the air. And so to see Charlie's widow and Iryna's mom, like holding each other, comforting each other. Oh my God, it's like too much to bear. But like, of course, you have to understand the stagecraft of it too. You know, somebody had to think about it and make that decision on Team Trump, and what a wise move it was. Wise move for the women and wise move for giving us the moment. And the Iryna Zarutska thing, it was crazy that the Democrats did not stand. I genuinely don't understand why they did not stand. Like, who would be in favor of a criminal who killed Iryna, a Ukrainian refugee? Here's the moment, and it's the one that really, like, I think Trump had genuine disgust at the fact that they sat here. Sot 11.
Last summer, 23-year-old Iryna was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget. There were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Iryna's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zarutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Iryna.
Erika Kirk, comforting her.
How do you not stand? How do you not stand?
Motioning to the Democrats. That was genuine disgust on Trump's part. How do you not stand?
Well, he had blamed the Democrats for her death, and I don't know if they knew what to do, but why not stand for Erika Kirk? What we by the way, Megyn, I don't know if you know, we give this prize, the Real Clear Foundation does, it's called the Samizdat Prize, to heroes of the First Amendment, and we awarded it to Charlie Kirk and to Erika on behalf of Charlie Kirk this year. And he was, among other things, a champion of free speech. He was killed exercising his First Amendment rights, and it's why he was killed, because he was willing to speak on college campuses. To me, every American should mourn the death of Charlie Kirk. I don't care what your politics are.
Absolutely right.
Megyn, I last week, I think it was, or maybe the week before, I was asked to moderate an interview with Joe Abraham, and Joe he's an angel father. His daughter, Katie Abraham, was killed a year ago in January in Champaign, Urbana. She was down there visiting friends. She was 20 years old, and a guy who was in the country illegally rammed into the car she was in at 80 miles an hour. They were at a stoplight. She was killed instantly. And part of what we talked about, he's become an activist now. And part of the reason he's become an activist is because he could not get J.B. Pritzker, the governor of the state of Illinois, to respond to him in any way. And he was at a congressional hearing in June of last year. J.B. Pritzker was there, Kathy Hochul was there, and Tim Walz was there. J.B. Pritzker walked right by him, feet away, never acknowledged his existence. To this day, has never spoken Katie's name, never even a word of condolence. And I asked him, I said, why is that? It would cost him nothing to just say, he could still be for all of his policies, but why can't he turn to you and just say, I'm really sorry for your loss? He hasn't done it. He won't do it. And nobody knows why. There's something about Democrats, and there's all this compassion for the Renee Goods of the world, the Alex Preddies of the world. But for the people who are killed, the Laken Rileys of the world, there's no compassion going in the other direction. And I don't understand it, because it really wouldn't cost them anything. And to not do it it's like, it shows their inhumanity.
It's inhuman.
Yeah.
The guy who murdered, allegedly, we all saw it with our own eyes, Iryna, DeCarlos Brown, had been arrested 14 times in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, before the stabbing, with criminal charges dated back to 2007. It was a team of Democrats that kept putting him back out on the streets. That's why they didn't stand. International disputes, inflation, rising national debt, digital currency. There's a never-ending list of reasons gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years. And a never-ending list of reasons smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals with Birch Gold Group. Gold can thrive during uncertainty, which is why it's a crucial part of a balanced financial strategy. It gives you peace of mind, given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text MK to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider letting Birch Gold help you diversify with gold so you too can have peace of mind, regardless of the uncertainty. Text MK to the number 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.